Not bad, Steve, for a new rugby guy. Hi everyone, and thank you, yes, for bumping it and waiting till the weather cleared up. There's only one thing more hopeless than a Texan in a winter storm, and that's Southern California. I lived in LA for 10 years. My Prius would not have made it here any other day than today. Or grew up in Australia, as you can probably tell, so even more useless in weather like this. But I officially live in Dallas now. It's a lovely place. Can't wait to see all your games. Maybe just call me Gilligan. So tonight, I'm so honoured and really privileged and flattered that you asked me to be part of this really important occasion, because this isn't just a sneak peek of the colours that the lads will be wearing this season in 2023. This is more of the Dallas Jackals identity and brand, and declaring your intention for this season. For me, it's a redemption story as well. I've been with you every step of the way last season. There's no more Austin team, as we know, so you're my team now. Don't let me down. And I'm looking forward to seeing the colours and talking to you about what it means. And it's also important to be part of this, because when we think of the jersey, just think of how important the jersey is in sport in general, let alone rugby. There's the obvious reasons. It helps players distinguish their teammates from the opposition. It helps spectators see which team is which. It helps the commentators know who scored the try. It helps the referees know who's been naughty and might need to spend 10 minutes or so in the sin bin. And then there's the less obvious reasons. There's the supporter who gets to demonstrate their pride and their allegiance to their team, to their city, to their country, for that matter. It helps the child show people who or what they want to be when they grow up by wearing that jersey. And it's also just about brand and identity, as Steve said. So that's why I'm really, really excited to be part of this tonight. I'm a commentator, as he mentioned, now, former rugby player, so I like to talk. So get comfortable, because I'm going to tell you about the history of the rugby jersey. I see some shaky heads, don't worry. Don't worry, but it is a fascinating one when you think about it, and why not? We're here to reveal a jersey. So let's talk about what the rugby jersey means, where it's from. Obviously, the game was invented in 1823. Here's a history lesson. In a little town in England called Rugby. Makes sense. And the uniform, not just the jersey, was, let's just say it wasn't built for performance. It was less about performance and more about fashion and a statement about class as well. A little private school in England started playing, and for the 1830s, you would have woolen jerseys, knitted wool, because it's cold, obviously, in the UK. And you would have little caps, slacks, and they did away with the little caps over the next couple of decades, got rid of the slacks and the caps, and they became shorts, although they were up to the knees, a little bit longer than we see today. And wool made way for heavy cotton. And obviously you had the collar, because it's a sign of fashion and status. So the collar stayed. The heavy cotton jersey stayed for many, many years. The shorts got shorter. It stuck around until, and this is where I date myself, till when I started playing. There was still heavy, long sleeve, because it came out of England. So we had to wear long sleeve, collared, heavy cotton jerseys. And it just didn't make sense. And I remember when I became professional in 1998, the evolution of the jersey took a rapid turn. From the cotton, we would cut our own sleeves because they just weren't practical. It was hot in Australia. And I played for my professional team, the Waratahs, which is a Sydney-based team. And back then, when rugby became professional in '96, there was a league that started between South Africa, New Zealand and Australia. 12 teams, and they called it the Super 12. And I was lucky enough to be part of that. And our manager, he'll try and tell you today it was his idea, and he kicked off this whole tight jersey thing. But we had our jerseys given to us, and he came to us with his idea. And he said, boys, I'm going to come in, I'm going to bring a tailor in, I'm going to measure you all up. Because it's too easy to grab the jersey. We've been watching the tape last year, and we think that if 10% of those tackles that were made by the opposition grabbing us didn't happen, we'd have probably won more games. So we're going to measure you, we're going to send them to the tailor, and they're going to bring everything in, take some fabric out. Let me tell you, the props absolutely hated it when we got those jerseys back. Skin tight now, but the backs loved it. By the way, the props were way less fit than they are today, so I'm not having a stab at the front rowers. But it was the start of something, it was about performance. We're now professional. This isn't about history necessarily and fashion. We got to get an edge. That was in 2002. In 2003, the Rugby World Cup was hosted in Australia. I'm just getting over it now because England beat us in the final. I think I'm getting over it. And that year we saw a rapid change in performance where you saw jerseys lose the collar, become skin tight. Cotton made way for polyester, blends, but mainly polyester. It looked like players were out there going for a cycle in their lycras. But that was the mark of change. And I was saying to Steve earlier, it kind of felt like that I was in that period where it just changed from really old school to really new school. It's like being a Gen X. It's like having lived without the internet and with the internet now, or without mobile phones to phones. Stark analogy, I know, but that's how it kind of felt. And here we are today, to where rugby jerseys have come, but it's always and has been an expression of the player and the brand and the team. Steve asked me to talk a little bit about also where USA rugby fits into world rugby. We can't talk about the evolution of the rugby shirt without talking about the growth of rugby in general. And this is what I love talking about, because this is essentially what I'm here to do, and my vision is to be here and help give back to the game that gave me so much, but be in America and help it grow. And it's been called the sleeping giant. We hear that expression a lot, right? The sleeping giant, US rugby. If they could just figure out how to get the infrastructure, if they could just figure out how to emulate some of these top tier nations with the population, with the resources, with the talent in this country, imagine what the US can do. I've been saying that for 30 years. Certainly when I arrived 13 years ago, they've been saying that. But why hasn't it happened? One of the ways for the sleeping giant to wake up and to emulate top tier nations is to get a professional game. A professional league in this country is one step. And they've been saying it for 20 years. It just can't happen. With American sports, how popular they are, they'll never go for it. And it certainly won't get off the ground. If it does, it's not sustainable. And here we are, coming into season number 6 of Major League Rugby, of which the Dallas Jackals are a proud part of that. So I just want everyone to acknowledge that's what's been going on, that's what I've been hearing, and give a round of applause for where we are at the moment in terms of MLR and Dallas Jackals. And you should feel very proud of this moment in history and the history of rugby and where it's heading. So the other thing, I think the other key piece is a good measure of if the sleeping giant has awoken is how well our national team or teams do compared to these other rugby playing nations. And we don't know what happened this year with the USA Eagles. The Rugby World Cup is being held later this year in France, and the US won't take part. And they've copped a hiding for that. And you can understand the disappointment, especially people involved in that setup. But here's what I say about that. I don't think that's as much as a demonstration of USA Rugby going backwards. I think what we get to celebrate is the teams that beat them to get into the World Cup for the first time they've ever got into the World Cup. Chile, Portugal. It's a sign of the global game getting bigger, getting more popular. And now with the World Cup being held here, men's and women's, 2031, 2033, what a wonderful opportunity for USA Rugby to roll up their sleeves and put on a good show for the world. Off the field and on the field, the men's and women's teams. That's my brief take on where we are in rugby, the growth of rugby, and how USA fits into that. The Dallas Jackals and the MLR play a very important part in putting on a good show for the next 9 years. So once again, thanks for having me. That's why I'm so excited to be part of this, because this game is way bigger than us, but we play an important role in that. So, speaking of Dallas Jackals and MLR Rugby, let's get back to why we're actually here. We get to unveil the jerseys for this season. And we have some models showing us both the home and away kit. And here they come. Round of applause for your new Dallas Jackals outfits, home and away for 2023. Wow. All right. Look at that, lads. Let me get out of the way. Photos? Get your snaps. Come closer, lady. Come on, that's too far away. Don't be shy. Where's the official? Where's the big camera? No? It's in the back. Okay. Looking sharp. I won't comment too much on what I see. I'm going to actually ask some of the lads here their thoughts, and also ask your GM in a moment what the vision is behind these shirts, what the message, if there is a message, that is behind this kit. So we have, I'll be saying their names throughout the season. We have Lucas Burr, birthday boy here, by the way. Round of applause, happy birthday. Patrick Medina. We got JP Aguirre. And we have Adrian Boyson. We have the newcomer, Jay Tatum. Winger. Can you believe this? I'm glad I've retired, long retired. I would hate to take on Jay. And we have Sam Goller as well, number 1 overall draft pick for 2023. Sit here. You sit here. Yeah. So, thank you, lads, for modelling this. Okay, who can I ask a question? Or I need some pictures from you. Oh, well, there you go, birthday boy. Okay. Why is this the best birthday present you've ever received?
It's just an honor to be up here to be able to present our jerseys to all you guys. A lot of hard work went into getting these done, and yeah, I'm just proud to be able to be up here to represent the team.
Proud to have you up here. Happy birthday, by the way. How old are you?
25.
25. And all the best this season. So we have, once again, Steve, give me the nod. Where are you? Just to be sure. This is our home kit. Yeah? This is our away kit. Let's ask one of the home kit boys. Sam, which do you prefer? You're wearing the home kit. Which one do you like better? Which one are you going to prefer to put on this season?
I gotta go with the home kit.
That's one. Okay, we're going to cause a division up here. No, you're going to be wearing both. Okay, home kit. What do you like about the home kit?
Adrian mentioned it earlier, it's a little more intimidating.
Yeah. Tell me more about the intimidation factor.
Yeah, I think it's like Sam said, it's a bit more striking, definitely darker, and I think like with the color black, intimidation. So, yeah.
JP, you don't think this is intimidating enough?
I think the white one looks pretty cute. But I like the switch to the black. I think a lot of things needs to change this year, so I changed the kit. That's where we start.
Great answers. I love the away kit. Being a back myself, back in the day, we like to look light and fast, and this is fast. This is good. When we see it on TV, especially, it's just going to be like a white and teal blur. It's going to be a flash. I look forward to that. And I see some retro aspect. I talked about the history of the rugby jersey. Back in the day, these are the kind of patterns you would have seen on some of these, especially old UK teams. Maybe it is inspiration. We're going to find out a little bit more about that in a second when I call up Santiago Sudini, sorry. Fellas, thank you very much. Best of luck for this season and tomorrow in your friendly. You've been great.